Hey guys, ModestNeko here. Welcome to the Cat Clan. Today I am going to be teaching you how to play on one of my favorite websites, or shall it be a game? I don't know how to refer to it, but it's technically a collectible egg hatching game, or it's technically an adoptables game. Wait, don't leave it, guys. I know what you're thinking, though, because I thought the same thing. An adoptables game? You mean that thing where you put it on your dash and hope that someone clicks it, and maybe in 5 months you can hatch it and take care of it and stuff like that? No, I was totally wrong. This site actually does everything within it, not having to post it on any other site. You could, but you can actually advance in this game. So first thing you need to do is obviously sign up, you understand the rules, you continue, and then you put down a username, password, confirm your password, email address, do your date of birth, pick a name for your farm that can always be changed. You choose your starter Pokemon, Aqua, Helioptile, Purloin, Skitty, Pichu, Vulpix, stuff like that. And then you put down your refer, which if you guys want, you can put down my refer, ModestNeko. And that's if you guys join. If you do, let me know so I can find you as well. Promo code, I'm not really sure what that is. And then you just check this and submit registration. And I actually don't remember if you have to confirm your email or not, but once you've done that, then you can log in. Now this video is going to be just an overview on how the website runs and just checking out each of the pages. So I hope that you guys will play it with me. Alright, so once you're in, this may be a bit overwhelming for you because you see everything all over the place, but don't worry, I'm just going to briefly go over everything. So in this top left corner, you can see your username. You click that, you'll see your profile. I'll hatch these eggs later so I can show that off to you. Got your trainer ID, you can say whatever you want into it, have an About Me page. Now, I set this up, and that could be another video on showing how I was able to set up all this stuff, whether with links and all that. Next we have the interactions part. Now today's interactions and clickback go with the system that this has, to where you click here and you can see all the users that interacted with you and how many interactions they've done with you. So if they clicked all my Pokemon, so let's say I go to open all users and now it says hold the egg. You click hold the egg and you're interacting with them. Go to next and you keep doing this. Now this is how you make it so your eggs hatch. You're able to click other people's eggs, and then they go on your clickback page, and you click them back. It's like you're just returning the favor, and this is basically what makes it so you're able to advance in the game. That, and there are other ways to do it, such as getting experience share, where if you make interactions, then you'll get your own eggs hatched up without having to wait on other people. But there is another way to do that, which I will show you in a little bit. That way you don't have to just click these. Next up, we have, well, jump is basically how you find other users to click their eggs so that they'll click you back, so you don't have to wait around for someone to click you. You've got all your currencies here, which credits are the in-game thing that you get as you're just going around the site, clicking other people's eggs, or raising their Pokemon and stuff like that. I'd actually like to find someone who has an actual Pokemon. Okay, here we go. So, when it's, yeah, on mine I have it be green and red, but when it's green, you press that because that's the flavor of berry that they like. If it's not highlighted, you press any of them, and you try and avoid the red, because, I mean, it won't do anything bad, but it'll just be less points for them and you. Alright, next currency, Gold Pokey, it buys several things. You can get it by certain events in the game. And then Zycon canisters, Zyphon canisters, I'm actually not sure how it's pronounced, but you buy that with actual money, so that's very optional. You can find your personal messages, you can go to forums, and an extra chat room, and then this thing in the corner, which I have this being a Serene because it's which is a fake mon in the site. I have it being that because I have a custom skin, but usually this would be an Absol. And this is where you can see all your stuff oh, eggs ready to hatch, oh, I have Scour Missions, plants need watering, stuff like that. But anyway, we're not going to get into all that yet. Let's go quickly through all these tabs. Got the lab, which you'll mainly use when you're filling up your Pokédex. You can adopt one egg every, or like you can adopt an egg, you can keep going with it, but if you don't like the eggs you see, you can reload this every 5 minutes. And you can have it notify you when new eggs are available. Once you, and you have like lab reloaders you can buy with Gold Pokey, but mainly you won't be using that when you get higher up in the game, but it's still nice sometimes. Got your party where you can see all your Pokemon, and this is where I'll hatch the eggs. So I have all different types of eggs here. In the beginning of each day you get some bonuses as well, and you get gems for it. Oh. Okay, so I'll just get rid of this egg then. So yes, you can release eggs if you need to, but you have to wait some time to release it. Because you can do Pokeradar chains to get shinies. That's another thing I'll cover probably in another video. Next tab, we have our farm. Now, this is basically where you have all your links. This could be a whole entire video on itself. So it's basically just your news about Pokemon evolving, your inventory, other links that you can find, other links, options, just a notepad, and your stats. So I could actually cover that in another video, and I probably will. Next up, we have the shelter, where you can actually adopt Pokemon. You can only adopt a certain amount per day, and you can adopt eggs or Pokemon themselves. However, you can't put eggs away in your fields, which is basically like the PC in this game. So you will have to make sure you have at least one Pokemon in your party if you want to adopt more Pokemon. And then you'll just like put that one into the field, have the one in your party, and just keep going on and on. If usually you just press reload, but if you end up wanting to do just Pokemon or just eggs, you can buy a white flute or a black flute. The white flute makes it so only Pokemon appear, the black flute makes it so only eggs appear. And if you end up adopting a Pokemon, then the page will automatically refresh. So choose wisely. If you see like 2-3 Pokemon that you want, choose the one you want the most, because you won't be able to get more than one in a page without it automatically refreshing. And you can't backspace to get the page back, unfortunately. Next, Next, we have the market, where you can sell your unneeded items. Oftentimes, this is good for when you get summon items to get legendaries. I'll talk about that later as well. But you can also find items that you need here. And all your inventory stuff's here, or you can just search an item. The daycare is the next part, and this is where you put 2 Pokemon together, find eggs. But they aren't found just by waiting around. You do have to make a lot of interactions to try and get eggs, and the compatibility makes a big difference. Like, I got lucky and got 75% compatibility. I believe 99% is the best, but it's like a hit and miss. You gotta keep swapping around Pokemon and stuff. But the thing that's really nice in this game is that, let's say I had a male Baneri and a female, let's say Lillipup or something, and I wanted Baneri and Lillipup eggs. I'm just like, oh no, I need to find a female Baneri, stuff like that. Nope, not in this game. You will get eggs from the offspring of males or females in this game. So if you want just one specific Pokemon, I suggest getting 2 of the same, or getting a Ditto, which, by the way, is extremely rare or expensive in this game. So, but that's my suggestion. If you don't care which of the offspring you get, then you can pair 2 together. But the general rules in this game still apply as far as how Pokemon goes with the field egg group, human-like, all that stuff. For the Pokédex, now here's the fun part. You see all these here? You need to fill up an egg dex, where you hatch all the eggs in each Pokédex, a actual Pokemon dex, which includes Megas, and all these different other forms for it. You don't have to fill these up, but you have a Shiny dex, an Albino dex, and a Melanistic dex. Now, Albinos and Melanistics are alternative forms to Shinies, and each Pokemon in this game has them. So, it's basically like a whitish variant, which sometimes are different colors. That's, again, could make a whole other video. And Melanistics are even more rare, because the Pokemon has to be shiny and albino to become a Melanistic. And the Melanistics are like black variants of it. But again, I'll just cover that in its whole video, because there is a lot of complex things to shiny and albino hunting. But if you fill these Pokédexes, then you get pretty big rewards for it, and you unlock other Pokemon and legendaries and stuff like that. Alright, so moving on, we got the fields. This is basically like the PC box where you have several fields. It does cost to buy each field, but you can sort them by flavors, which is usually preferred, and you can put them in stacks. So then you press this, you see they're red, do that, and you can just keep clicking them. Now my advice is to hover, if you're on the computer, because you can play this on mobile too, but if you're on the computer, I suggest you press both 1 keys, or sorry, in this case it'd be 2 keys. 1 for sour, 2 for spicy, 3 dry, etc. So I would do, if you have two keys, I would suggest tapping them as fast as you can. See how fast that went? And then you press the arrow to go to the next one. Just hover your mouse over it. Next, 3 dry. Now the reason I have them in 2 stacks rather than 1 is because I play mostly on mobile, and so that's how I can do like both fingers tapping it pretty quickly. But most people have just 1 stack, and then you can just do it like that really nicely. Scours. This is where you can find items. So we're going to see what my Pokemon have found. Now, and you get bonuses for these too by having a chain of the Scours. Now don't worry guys, this is just an overview, so there is going to be an overload of information. I can do videos on almost every section of this, and it would make a lot more sense to me. Now I found a treasure box. These are something that were in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but let's see what we get here. So I got a Reaper Cloth, so I'm able to evolve Dusclops into Dusknoir. Now, you can get all kinds of different stuff here. You can get gold Poké, summon items, Mega Stones, Arceus plates whenever you unlock Arceus. You can get like form-changing items, just all kinds of different things. So, it's good to reset your Scour areas whenever you can, because you can send out a Pokemon on a Scour mission like every hour. And in the beginning, it's a good idea to buy Scour slots. So, you get 1 automatically, you can buy 2 more, and that will be your total of ones you can buy. You can buy more to gift them to people, but only the other 2 count. You can buy a Scour boost, but again, it's a 2 maximum for it to matter, and that'll just make it so you're more likely to find rare items. If you want to find common items on purpose, you can just like give them to a Pokemon and put them in your field or whatever, and then it won't count, and then just take it off of them, and hey, it's active again. So, and what that does is, let's say I'm choosing Viper, select, and you find its favorite area, which is totally random. You have to find out which one it likes. Viper likes fire, or the volcano area, so I keep sending it on it. Once you find which area they like or dislike, that'll be the set area for that Pokemon. So while it's random for each Pokemon, once you find it, you're all set. And you want them to go to an area they like, because that's where they're more likely to find better things. And they do have energy levels, so it's better to get more than 3 Pokemon to go on Scour missions, because the less energy they have, the less likely they are to find good things as well. Moving on, we have Wishforge. This is something that, again, I could go into big detail about, but I won't. As you hatch Pokemon, you get gems, and on certain days you get 3 gems. So on some days you can get extra gems, and that basically just makes it so if you get enough of them, then you can start forging them, and you just have to evolve a certain amount of Pokemon of that type to be able to upgrade your gems, or your Wishforge badges. And that just makes it to where it takes less interactions to get your eggs hatched or your Pokemon raised. Next we have summons, where we are able to summon legendary Pokemon. And basically every Pokemon in this game has an egg. So legendaries even have eggs. They just take like 30,000 points to hatch in that case. And then, like, we have the wiki, and that's where all the information about this site is. If you don't know something, you should just search it here, and this will be, like, your biggest source of information for everything. For shinies, that's not usually up there, it's something I put there, but this is where I can see my shiny chain here, and right now I'm shiny hunting for Veneeri. Even though I had other Pokemon in there, it's because there's another event going on. More on that later. and then the more is pretty much the same thing as the farmlands. One of the final things I'll cover are these ones up here, as I'm sure you're curious why there are Pokemon Mystery Dungeon faces up here. So each of these guys are either moderators of the game, or they are just like random Pokemon set up there. However, basically, they each have certain site-wide user goals. So like this one here, the Absol named Yet, it has it to where you need to do a certain amount of interactions, and once you get all the way to the amount of interactions needed, then it'll be like, oh, double, triple, however much, you'll get those extra points per people interacting with yours, or when you have the experience share, you interact with other people's stuff, and it'll just go faster for that. But it'll be just for one day, and then it'll start over. But don't worry, these building up aren't just in a day and then it resets. You keep going and going and going until it is finished. And then same with these guys, like interaction points, Scour Missions, Wish Force, stuff like that. When they are looking like this, like, oh, they're all happy or whatever, and it says 32% improved Scour finds or whatever, that means that it is active for the day. And you can look at each of these to see what each of them do, but it's a good idea to try going for those, and if they are active, then I'd take advantage of it for the day, because that's where it'll help you a lot. Last few things, we have the Pokemon of the day, that, it's a random Pokemon each day. It could be legendaries or just regular Pokemon, but it'll always be the first form to them. So Combee the Pokemon of the day. It'll have, a slightly higher chance of hunting, or of hatching the shiny than normal. So oftentimes people might, oh, let's see if I can get the shiny of the day, and then they switch over to doing a hunt for that. But again, that just lasts the day. The V-Wave makes it so they have more of a boost than normal of experience. So if you hatch a bunch of ice eggs, it'll take a lot less time to do this and such. And the Pokemon will get more experience too if they're ice type, or whichever type it is. And you can actually see the forecast, they call it, of which days will be which ones, so you can plan accordingly. Pokerus is every 15 minutes, a random person on the site gets Pokerus, but it's not usually random. It's that if you click the person, and then you go to their fields, and you mass interact with their Pokemon, like this one that just has 120, so this would be an easy one to do, you could have a chance of getting Pokerus. So in 15 minutes, when it resets, you'll know if you have Pokerus or not, because down here you'll have like a little thing saying, oh, I have Pokerus, or whatever. But, and then you can keep going every 15 minutes. You won't have to keep an eye on this, because you can just time it for 15 minutes. It's like exactly, like right now it's 1:20. That means that in 10 minutes, it's going to be up at 11:30 my time. So that's how you're able to do that. It's just a fun thing you can chase. And for these, you have your news. Whenever there's like a little white ball over here, sorry I don't have that active, that'll make it so you can see what news updates there. Usually if it says, let's see, where is it? It is. Alright, so usually where it says this change log, and oh, since we're done with the recode, makes sense to move on to other updates, you say read more, because that's the most common one they're going to update. It'll tell you the updates for each of these days and such. And sometimes it's pretty exciting to read, like, oh, I never knew that this thing happened, and like this site has improved so much over the past few months, and it's just amazing. So these are your daily tasks. Be online for one of them, that's the easiest one you can do. If you break these chains, it doesn't make too big of a difference. The be online one's the best one you can do. Mine's 188, so I've been active on this game for 188 days. I've logged in every single day since I've played, so that's why. Make 1,000 interactions, you'll have a chain there that gives you more interaction points, which interaction points, it may not matter too much to you now, but that's how you're able to go albino hunting. You need interaction points to do albino hunting. More on that in a separate video. Hatch one egg, that gives you bonus gems for wish forges. Complete one Scour mission, and you get a chain for the Scour items you get. Like, oh, the first Scour that you do for the day, you'll have 3 evolution items for chain 1 through 4, and on chain 5 you get 3 treasure boxes, which, as you've seen, can get a lot of different stuff in it. Over here is usually where they have their events. So we have something called Fabulous Friday. Every Friday you make a bunch of interactions. Depending on how much you contribute, you get gold Poke for it. Right now we're having a Valentine's event, which they do like to do a lot of events, and they sometimes give away fake Pokemon or different forms of Pokemon and such like that. I'll go over like different forms of Pokemon and Fakemon and all that in a different video. And the type race is where you get assigned a random type each month, and you hatch as many eggs as you can matching that type, and now it won't break your shiny chain, so that's really nice. And they actually changed it to where you keep doing the points and you earn Z fragments, and I believe it's that you need 7 Z fragments to get a Z crystal, and Z crystals in this game just give you a boost for 1 day of albinos in that type. So I've never used one yet, but it seems like it would probably help. And then we have tournaments like every single week. So like for this one, it's like hatch a variety of eggs. That's why I had a bunch of different eggs in my party. Only unique eggs will avoid breaking shiny hunt chains. So shiny hunt chains can be pretty brutal because a lot of things will break it. You can't hatch a lot of other things. And now we actually have Pokemon contests as well, to where you can just enter in your Pokemon, make it look nice with all kinds of different decorations and such, and then you know, like, it's a good idea to enter just because no matter what place you get in, you'll get something. And it's usually gold Poke, but if you get a higher placement, it might give you even more. And then we got our egg timer here. So this makes it to where if you make 10,000 interactions a day, you'll be at full 13 level here. And that'll make it so your eggs will hatch without you making experience, or like you'll get, or without you getting experience, or with other people clicking you, because that's what happens at 0. But when you go to 13, it goes from like 10 hours to hatch an egg to like 1.5 hours to hatch an egg. So that's a pretty insane boost. So like you don't have to get to 13 all the time, but as long as you get it up to like maybe at least 10, it helps significantly. And that's a new feature in the game, which makes it really nice. I have Hyper Mode. This is something that's not necessary, but it does help you in the game, because you have to buy this with real money. It lasts a month, but you get like shorter release times on your eggs, free gold Poke, more daycare adoptions, which that helps a lot too, because you can only get 6 eggs from the daycare before you have to release them and just find eggs of that type in the shelter, which more on that in another one. You get a random summon item each month, and discount on gold Poke, boosted experience, you get like the swag of having Hyper Mode there, and then you get a boosted Poke Radar, which again, more on that in the shiny hunting video. As for the rest of this stuff, it's pretty much Shiny Charm, that's what it is. Shiny Charm, Uber Charm, which increases shiny and albino chances for 28 days. And then your albino radar, you power that up with interaction points every day. And lucky eggs, I just see as a big waste of time, because it costs a lot and it only gives you extra experience for 1 day. And I just don't see it as worth it, but some people might. But anyway, that is pretty much all on this website. I know that was a lot, but there was a lot to cover, and that was just the basics. I didn't even get down to the nitty-gritty of it. So I do hope that you at least consider playing this game, because I love it a lot, and it's really a good thing to unwind with, I'd say, because all you're really doing is interacting with other people's Pokemon. You just tap, and to me, tapping or clicking is pretty therapeutic, just in my opinion at least, and the community on here is pretty friendly as far as I know. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below if you do decide to play this game. If so, let me know your username so that I can find you, and if you would like to refer me, then like when it had that referral code thing, just put down ModestNeko, and that'll help me, and I think it will help you as well. So let me know that, and let me know if you would like me to make more specific videos on this. I may or may not do it depending on if you guys say I don't care about this game, or like if the views on this are bad or whatever. I may not make more tutorials, but I really do love this game, and if anyone wants to get started on it and wants help, then I would really love to help you guys. So, and there's so much to cover on it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you see, then please consider pouncing on that subscribe or like button. And if you batted that little bell icon, then you could stay up to date of when I go live or post something new. So, you have a great day, and keep your claws sharp. Bye!